The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is James Snyder. I am with Affiliated Resource Group. I'm a Microsoft Dynamics rep, and I also use Microsoft Dynamics myself for my business development activities. Today, we wanted to take you through some just high-level ways to use Dynamics from a prospecting standpoint, in terms of maybe using it to leverage some cold call efficiencies, but just being able to fill that top of the funnel and try to reach the right people at the right time. So as we go through this, it's going to be pretty basic. If you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand. And of course, we can definitely have a more detailed conversation offline if that's something that you would like. So let's go ahead and dive in. What we're going to again focus on today is efficient prospecting with Dynamics. I assume that most of you are similar to my position, where you are really focusing on a B2B environment. There's quite a few challenges that sales reps and business development reps and marketing reps and really face today. It's hard to know how to reach prospects. Do you do it through cold calling? Do you do it through LinkedIn? Do you try emailing? Reality, it's probably a combination of the three. But a lot of organizations who are maybe thinking about buying CRM or already have CRM, sometimes it's difficult to see how CRM can actually make this better or easier for the end user to prospect. They feel like it's some added time in adding these notes and trying to make these calls. And if you're getting no response, why are we adding all this in? When you could be spending that time maybe actively calling more times or reaching out to more people by hitting the pavement and knocking on their door. So we're going to focus today of really how a CRM like Microsoft Dynamics can be a very valuable tool as you dive into your day-to-day and leverage all these tools you have to really help make this cold calling process or prospect, reaching the right prospect, much easier for you, and really leverage this great tool that you have or are looking to maybe possibly have. So the reality today is sales has been changing. We as business development reps and marketing reps really have to change to this and adjust to this new buying cycle. A lot has been said that if you're trying to force other firms into your sales cycle, you're going to have some trouble and some difficulty. It's about adjusting to how they are buying in their cycle. And the reality is this, really. I mean, companies today are 57% through the buying cycle before they're really willing to talk to a sales rep in a lot of instances, or where they verify that they're truly interested. And what that means is basically there's so many tools at their disposal today where they are doing their own research when they're looking into something, perhaps a service that you offer, before they're willing to talk to you, whether it's on talking to peers, obviously, or using the search engine to look up articles about different vendors in the space that they're looking to get services in. That being said, it's just as important as it ever was to really increase the volume at which you're trying to reach people. And you're trying to hit a smaller window, so to speak, to have a good conversation. Maybe you do need to hit in that leftover 43%. But it really means, having a great balance of quality and quantity in your outbound sales efforts to reach these people at the right time. And then what Dynamics and these other tools can help you do is to do this in a smart way and have a strategy behind it rather than just kind of attacking a lead list, so to speak. So we're really going to be focusing on 3 different tools today. One is called Click Dimensions. It's a Microsoft product that you can, or it's not a Microsoft product, it's in the Microsoft marketplace, and you can add it to Dynamics, and it's a very common tool for our customers to leverage email marketing and landing pages and a lot of other things. And again, if you're interested, we can talk in more detail about that. We're going to use another third-party product today called Inside View, which is basically the lead source, and it's a tool that I use myself to really find new contacts. And of course, if you were to look at this a wheel, Dynamics is the center hub that brings all this information together and helps it make sense. so you can really strategize and go after this. So first, we're going to start by going into how to use the product of Inside View to really kind of dive in to finding the right contacts or adding new leads. So it's Inside View, and this is where we're going to create the list and export the leads to CRM. We're going to build that target list, and then Click Dimensions is going to be the tool that we're actually going to send a target email through. And a target email is basically the main tool that we're using to get the information we need to follow up with the right people at the right time, or basically increase our odds of contact. So Inside View gets the leads. We're going to bring those leads into CRM, and then we're going to send a target mailer. And typically a target mailer is anywhere between 1 to 250 emails. You're going to go after a particular segment with a general message or email from yourself asking for some kind of call to action, maybe a conversation. And then we're going to follow up on those emails at the end after we get the results. So let's first look at Inside View. So Inside View is, again, the tool that plugs right into CRM. There's very little work needed to go into Dynamics. This is the first screen that we're going to see, and this is where we build the list function. And this is pretty cool. Part of the struggle I have had in the past in other positions is getting a lead list from a various source. So I guess you could probably all relate to this. A lot of lead lists, great, you get a lot of leads, but then you contact these people and it's, hey, so-and-so doesn't work here anymore, or so-and-so is not in this position anymore, or this company's out of business, and that's frustrating because you might be thinking you're doing all this work by making all these activity efforts, but at the end, some of it's garbage and it just doesn't work right. So this is a tool that helps me validate that I'm at least reaching out to the right people, which is a really good first step. You really want to put good leads into your CRM that you're going to continue to go after. So I would build a lead list first, and you can go through quite a bit of criteria here. You can, of course, set it up a location, whether it's a zip code, an area code, a state, wherever you want to focus that target mailer. An employee size or range for your prospect, and of course revenue size, so you're targeting the right business for what you're offering. And then you can segment the industry by the industry name or an NAIC code, which are very easy to find if you're looking for codes. There's a lot of resources online that you can use, just Google it. Or SIC codes, which is the same thing. So you want to pick your industry, possibly even the sub-industry within if you even want to be more focused. And of course you can add, if you want it to only show you private companies, public, or whatever type of company you're looking for. And then if you want it to only be an operating company, or perhaps if you're open to subsidiary or acquired, you can click all. Going into the next step here, this is me clicking some actions that I want to take. So I segmented by Columbus, Ohio. I chose obviously, the employee range I was looking for was 10 to 250. I chose to opt out of choosing the revenue. The industries I selected actually two, computer hardware and computer software, and I included all the sub-industries. And of course all the company types and statuses. Moving into the next step here, I'm going to get my list. So this is a list of companies that Inside View is pulling out for me, and I can get some high-level information here. If they're a subsidiary or they're private, where they're located. Obviously, they're all going to be in Columbus. The name of the company, the revenue, the estimated employee size. Now, these aren't always completely accurate, but it's a great head start. You could simply do this, which is a pretty neat tool. But again, I like to be a little more careful. You could export all the results into CRM, and what it'll do is it'll actually take all the information and contacts of these leads and flood new leads into the CRM for you. You won't have to manually put those in. For a target mailer today, I'm going to show you a little different way to do it. However, that is still an option that you can use. So what I did is I clicked on a specific company. I clicked on Affiliated Resource Group, and I looked at my contacts that I was available to contact. So I've got the president, the VP of Business Development, the CRM practice leader, for instance. This is actually our company. And I highlighted the president because that's the contact I want to go after. Now, what I've found really valuable here is you've got the email, you've got the number, But what really validates that this lead is a legitimate one is it's got a LinkedIn button next to it. If I click that, what it'll do is it'll take me right to Michael Moran's LinkedIn, and I can confirm that he indeed has this position with Affiliated and that he's president. Now, if they don't have a LinkedIn, it doesn't mean it's a bad lead. It just simply means they might not have LinkedIn or that connect hasn't been there yet. But I would encourage that the odds of them being accurate increase greatly when you see that LinkedIn button, given the popularity of LinkedIn today. So I verify that Michael Moran is a lead that I do want to have in the CRM, and I see that LinkedIn button and I verified it on LinkedIn. When I click that, then I then have the option to export that into my CRM. So what I'll do is I'll click that export button here in the top right-hand corner. And once I click this, all this information that you see on this page will actually flood into the CRM for me automatically. And then what I get is a cool menu like this, and what it'll do is it'll actually check your database and make sure you're not duping data. It's almost a dedupe product within itself. So it sees that there's a matching lead in here for Michael, but I still have the option to create a new lead or a new contact, or I can, if I click update, what it'll do is it'll supplement any information I don't already have in the lead and actually flood it right into that piece within Dynamics. So when I look at that lead again in my CRM, I will see all this information added that was on this site here. So let's say we went through this process. We either mass imported a few or added our own, and let's say we went through several and went ahead and did this for a lot of different new leads in the management system. So at this point, I think it's a good time to segue into the CRM and show you how to do this target email campaign. So let's go ahead and let's dive into that. I'm going to go ahead and open the system. And I'm going to go into the marketing segment here into the email sends, and that's where I'm going to start. I like starting here because you can do a lot of stuff here in the same spot. You don't have to bounce around between screens. So we're going to go through a couple steps here. I'm going to select the list of the folks I've added from Inside View. I am going to create the email I want to send to them. And then we'll kind of fast forward as if it were a week from today and then view the results of who clicked, who opened what were the lead scores of those targeted email results. So first, let's go ahead and let's add a new draft. For the subject here of what I'm going to call this email send, I'll call it, email target Columbus IT, and then today's date, which is 2/25/15. I'm going to go ahead and select my email template. Now I could create one that already exists. For the sake of today's demo, I'm going to go ahead and create a create a template for you here on the spot. So I'm going to go to the search button here, and I'm going to go to Add New. And here is where I'm going to build my email template. Now this, as I go through this, this is really going to start leveraging the Click Dimensions tool that I have in my CRM. So first I'm going to start with the name of the email template I'm creating. Again, it's going to be similar probably to the name of my campaign. The subject, this is the subject that the recipient will see on their email. Be creative. We can, again, you'd want to use your own kind of wording here, but this is pretty broad on purpose. Obviously, you can be a lot more creative with the subject title. Editor type here, I'm just going to do a freestyle. I want this email not to be too flashy. I want it to seem as if it's coming right from my own email, so it's more personalized to the contact, less like a kind of mass email campaign, so to speak. I'm going to go ahead and save, and you need to save it before you can move on to some next steps here. I'm going to open the Click Dimensions editor. Here we're going to type in some text. So I strongly encourage you to start using some merge fields here, basically so it's more personalized. So the first thing I'm going to click up here is this person's head. Now, since I'm targeting leads today, I'm going to select lead, and then pull through what I want. So I'm going to refer to their first name here. So whoever I send this to, it'll say, hello, Michael or Jim or Sean. So I'm going to select first name, add. Now again, I'm keeping this pretty vague, mainly so you're not spending a lot of time having me type up a template. But here, I strongly encourage when you're doing a target mailer to really have some kind of call to action. Relatively brief, but maybe offer some sticking points about your services, some successes of your clients, and just let them just enough to know of that call to action of what you're going for here. Now what I'm going to do here is just a little shortcut. I'm going to copy my email signature. And put it in here. And one thing you should do always when you're sending any kind of email blast is you want to add an unsubscribe option. So if we go up here to this tool, we can say unsubscribe, and then whatever text you want in here. And then that way they can click that, and it's always a good thing to do when you're sending out a mass email. So this will go out through the Click Dimensions tool. Here I'm going to save this. And when I exit this, that email template's already loaded into this outbound email send. Now campaign here, I'm not really putting a budget in here, so I'm going to kind of avoid the campaign for the target mailer. However, you can always add that in if you need to. I'm not going to put in an event type either. You definitely want to select that it's coming from your username. This adds a lot of detail in for you automatically. And I have it selected. You could set it at a time frame that you want it to release, or you can just say send immediately. I'm going to choose immediately. I'm going to go ahead and save it. And then I'm going to add the marketing list. And the marketing list I'm going to add are just those new leads that I have added in from Inside View, those new contacts. So I'm going to go over here and click the Add button. Now I created a list to show me any kind of leads that I've added today, so it automatically will flood in. There's a couple different ways you can do it. It's my fault there. So now I've got all those leads added into all those contacts that I've added, and I think I've got about 15 or so that I put in just for this. Usually when I do this myself, I usually gun for about 200 when I send a target mailer. Now, once I click send here, it's going to fire out to all those contacts, and it's going to give me some nice reports of kind of that response rate to all those emails I sent out. Now, because obviously in real time I can't give you some results without waiting a little bit, I went ahead and I'm going to show you a report that I've done with one of my campaigns. So let's go ahead and go back into here. And here's a result that you're going to get from this. You're going to see something, your target template up here, and then the overall performance. So, hey, you know, how many recipients did this go out to? How many emails were sent total, not counting excluded emails or past unsubscribed, so to speak? How many people interacted to my message? 17%, which is pretty good. My open rate was 15%. Okay, how many unique opens were there? How many total opens were there? What was the click rate? How many times they clicked the email? How many were bounced? How many were bad emails? So I can see all this when I check back on how, basically this is the performance dashboard of how your last target mailer did. So the big deliverable is the next screen and what I find the most value in. So out of all this, I drill down to the specific clicks, the specific opens, and I export it into a simple Excel just because I'm kind of an Excel geek. I like using it. You don't have to use Excel. But in this next screen, I'm actually going to, and imagine a lot more leads than this, but I am actually going to focus on those leads that specifically interacted the most to this target email. So if I look at the green here, they got these lead scores, which is a calculation that you can customize in Dynamics of, you know, how many clicks and opens. So if I'm going to do some introductory calls, why call leads just, you know, in blind? I want to call leads that at least I got a better shot at contacting that might have some interest. And here's where we talk about increasing the quality of your leads and really using the CRM tool to help you contact more people. So right here, I'm going to contact these folks first because they opened it and they clicked it the most. So when I call out and reach out, from my experience, I'm actually getting a hold of a lot more people this way. You know, I'm not directly saying, you know, hey, I sent you an email last week and you clicked on it a bunch. You know, let's talk. No, it's more just, you know, it's still an introductory call, but, you know, they've been experiencing our branding or our brand in some shape or fashion, and I see that through this. So when I talk to them, you know, the odds of them being open to the conversation are much higher than if I was just kind of taking some shots in the dark. So this is a really valuable tool, and I really encourage you to try this. It's done great things for me in a couple different roles I've had with various services. This practice has always helped with my prospecting when I need to get some net new contacts. So that's basically a rundown of kind of our simple 3 steps to use Dynamics a little more effectively for prospecting. A little bit about us. We are a gold partner of Microsoft. We do implementations unique to Microsoft Dynamics CRM, work across several industries. We've done over 100 unique Microsoft Dynamics CRM implementations. Obviously, you know, a lot of our client base are new implementations, new to Dynamics, but quite a bit of our clients are people already on Dynamics, and we can help with various things. You know, there's the technical side where we can help plug into other lines of business applications like their ERP or their warehouse management system, among several others. A lot of it's training on their existing system, how to get more value out of their current Dynamics, further customizing and tailoring, building reports for their current Dynamics, and really the big piece is developing a process within their system that's uniquely theirs so they can use their system as a competitive advantage. What we found, a lot of people that have CRM and maybe not find the value that they are hoping for is they didn't really have the opportunity to implement their unique processes into the CRM, so it makes sense to them and their people. So that's a big part of our process, and we're proud to say that we have over a 90% success or adoption rate, and a lot of it is working and helping our clients, and even sometimes helping them develop a process in CRM that really complements their services and what they're trying to do for their customers, both future and current. So we've got architects, implementers, developers, of course licensing specialists, and we have been in the space with Dynamics specifically for 9 years. If any of this stuff interests you today, again, my name's James. If you'd like to connect and kind of dive into more detail, really like the opportunity for just a high-level exploratory conversation of just what you're doing today, whether it's on Dynamics or not, and maybe ideas you might have and ways we can improve what you're trying to do with the CRM. Please contact me. Let me know if you're open to a conversation. Would like that opportunity very much. And also, if you're using Dynamics, if you have any ideas for future webinars that might be helpful in this format to go over, I'd really like to hear from you there. I'm always looking for new topics that other Microsoft Dynamics firms are doing to see if we can share that with others or perhaps solve some problems if you think there's some things that could be resolved. So that was it for the demo. It was pretty short and sweet. I hope that you found some value out of it. If you have any questions, any suggestions, please let's get together, let's chat. We'll be also posting this webinar on the website here, so you'll be able to access it and watch it again if you wanted to share it with anyone else. So again, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it, and maybe we'll talk again down the road. Thank you.